The Witcher, Season 2, Episode 1, titled A Grain of Truth. And this episode is a really well done episode to start off this new season of the show. Now, to recap my experience with The Witcher of the IP, I haven't played any of the games. I bought the first book, which is The Last Witch. But I read the first chapter, and for whatever reason, I didn't stop. I didn't start reading the rest of it. Probably locked down, and then you do other stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, there's another book. I need to read this book. But my major experience with The Witcher is this show. So, what I would quite like when I was covering the first season was I was learning all these things, all these elements through the comments about in the books this happened, in the books this happened, in the books this happened. So there's a fun aspect towards it, finding out what happens and what was different and all that. So that's my experience with, and of course I find out bits and pieces naturally about the IP itself. So I quite enjoyed the first season. Yes, it was convoluted as fuck. Like I think as everyone, like, it was that weird thing of like, we knew we liked what we were watching, we really enjoyed what we were seeing, but we didn't know where the timeline was. Like, is this in the future, in the past? What is this case? And they explained that this season is going to be streamlined. It's just going to be like a point A to point B, and we're going to get there in a single line, not like going through go through the alphabet out of order. We ain't going to do that. We're just going to go streamline. We're going to go point A to B and C all the way to Z. And I'm like, okay, that's a neat way to go. And with this episode, it's just really well put together. I mean, one of the things that I learned about the books is that the monsters themselves, or the creature aspect of it, or the supernatural aspect of it, a good chunk of it is like a take on like a fairy tale. Last season we had a genie episode where clearly that was a whiff from Aladdin. Well, this one is a whiff of Beauty and the Beast, where we meet a friend of girl, and who had a curse. He was foolish. He is now this walking pig, this walking warhog, and he needs to find love and blood. And you find this a sound tragic. You also, the relationship, his personality, the relationship between him and Geralt, what he has, and see. I mean, this episode is basically always telling us that we're going to see different sides of Geralt. Geralt in the first season, he was basically a grunt. He basically did a lot of and in case he said fuck every time something doesn't go wrong. Shit or fuck was his catchphrase of the first season. But seeing that and seeing this friendship, it's just really well put together. And I'm trying not to hit spoilers, but when we hit the creature aspect of it, of the supernatural Easter hunt, monster hunt, aspect of this episode, they show the gray of magic. They show the gray of, hey, Geralt kind of sees things black and white. There's a monster, there's a way to fix it, and if it involves killing, he's going to kill it. And seeing the gray aspects of it, of this episode, show that not everything is so black and white. It's really put together. It's very, like, I try not to hit spoilers here. I really do. I'll talk about this episode when I talk about episode 2 onwards, but by itself, I don't want to dive into heavily of the spoilers. But the stuff with Yennefer, I felt like, it kind of felt like, also, it might be a little bit premature to say this, but I kind of feel like you could easily cut all this stuff out. Like, sometimes I kind of feel like finding out that Yennefer is alive, I kind of feel like sometimes it's better to have the audience find out at the same time as the characters find out. And I feel like this might be the case of that. And I feel if you cut all that out and but you never know, maybe Girl and Yennefer never meet up again. You know, Girl just thinks Yennefer's dead for an entire season and a bit or something, because it's greenlit that season 3 is happening. So it's yeah, it's a really well put together episode. But here's the thing, I like the stuff that Yennefer has. I just want to put it out there. The creature design of this, it's a very like fly type of design. It's like it's kind of like a bug movement, like this person is having it's treating like a bug, like it's someone's like, it's like an exorcist, like they're crawling off the walls, but also they're kind of moving twitchily like a bug, and they kind of like the movements are very quick. Like they're like someone press fast forward while they were talking, but they're talking normally, and because you see, characters who are moving at normal speed while this one's kind of moving at a rapid pace, but they look human, and it's really well, this episode is really well put together, and so far. If this is more like, I've pictured this being more like a prologue to the story of season 2, but as like a prologue and as a, hey, we're back, it's a pretty well put together episode. So far, a strong beginning.